And if you want to know what that is, read the book. So, growth by choice is my attempt to start a conversation. It's an expression. It's expression of something I believe, not because of where I am, but because of the journey I've gone through, and the journeys of others. And in the book, you will hear stories. You read stories of people who've gone through hell in some instances, who've had livelihood been threatened, who thought they were going to get consumed by natural disasters and die, but they all thrived in very different ways. So whether you're a Harvard grad or you studied in an average secondary school, branded, not branded, Ivy League, non-Ivy, doesn't matter. Over time, growth is a long game, kind of levels out. But what allows us to thrive and succeed fundamentally, I believe, is who we are and how we unfold and how we do that on our own terms. And it's important for us to start embracing the concept of personal disruption so that we can thrive in a world of change versus getting disrupted and then praying we survive. And I hope to start this conversation. So far, the reception of the book's been decent, pretty good. And it's great to see some organizations and some board of directors starting to embrace this book and see what they can do within the organization. And I hope the book can do three things. One, it provokes thought. Two, it unlocks insights and introspection. And three, it inspires action. Inspires action because there are a lot of other people out there who can tell you how to do it. But before you learn how to do it, you've got to get to know yourself. That's the starting point. And that's where we start with two frameworks that I provide in the book, in the hope that it will help give people a starting point to start a conversation for themselves, to start a conversation with their families, and for organizations to start the conversation within the organization, because organizations have a responsibility. But we cannot wait for organizations, and we cannot wait for governments to help us change, transform, and develop. We've got to start owning that for ourselves and leverage organizations to support us and leverage governments to support us. That is the opportunity we have ahead of us, because change is the opportunity. Change is not the enemy. And the moment we embrace that as a thought process, I think life can unfold in very different ways and meaningful ways for us as we go forward. So that's Growth by Choice, and I hope you enjoy the read. If you like it, please promote it, buy it, distribute it, get other people to read it, encourage it. If you don't like it, give me feedback. Please don't put it on social media. No, I'm just kidding. But more than anything else, I couldn't be here if it was on for Chenka. Chenka has been amazing. And 2 weeks before, just before I signed the final copies of the proofs, I actually called him and said, should I do this? And he was actually absolutely blown away with that question because he didn't know where it was coming from. So I actually was a little hesitant to do this because I was getting a little nervous, and he gave me a good pep talk, and I signed the final proofs and it went live. I want to thank Kanan. Kanan's friend, Kanan introduced me to Chenka. And I've known Kanan since my Microsoft days, and I've gotten to know Chenka now. And obviously I want to thank my family more than anything else, because I can't do what I do without my family. My wife, my son, and my daughter, they all keep me honest. And we have many debates on the dining table. And they couldn't read the book because they said every time they read the book, they could hear my voice and they would just put it down. So I want to thank all of you here. All of you here, I know most of you, and all of you have taught me something. You just don't know it, and one day I will express what that is. But all of you have had an influence in my life in so meaningful ways, and I can't say thank you enough. I'm incredibly grateful, and I hope you guys start the conversation, get inspired to start the conversation with your colleagues, your families, your kids, and everyone around you. Thank you for being here.
About myself, I started with the newspapers, with the Straits Times, and for me, the growth process started from there. It came about when, as you meet different people, you learn a lot of things about yourself, you learn about them. Also getting singled out by then Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew for an opinion I had about a series that was being developed to celebrate the nation's 25th anniversary. So if you do the math, you can figure out how old I am. But with that, you came to learn new things as well. Then it was on to magazines, learning more things there, and then into the new media with Storm Asia. where I do a series of web chats, which is this sort of discussions as well. So I find that these are opportunities to grow, to learn, right? So for me, the written word has been important, writing has been important in developing and in growing. And I'd like to bring that topic here because this is an aspect of Harish and Mingyan and Chinka that you might not hear about so much. You can read his book, you can find out about his life and so on and so forth, but what did writing do to change you, to help you grow, right? So let's start with Harish, the man of the moment, and let us know what this whole process of writing your book did for you in terms of your growth.
Karan, thanks for being here. And the intro again, I just want to say thank you to Shinka and Mingyan for all the support. It was an incredibly cathartic process for me. Like I said, it was a nice avenue for me to write and kind of reflect. But I think before even writing, I ended up buying a recorder and recording the entire journey I had since I was like 5 or 6 or 7, thereabouts, all the way to now. And it was a very emotional process to kind of recite everything. It's like you're talking to yourself in a recorder. It was an incredibly emotional process. So I went through highs, I went through lows, I went through tears, because you recount stuff that happens in your life, right? Stuff you like, some lots of nice stuff, and it was incredible. And for me, it was a point of reflection. The process allowed me to reflect, allowed me to introspect, not just about the past, but about the past and its influence on my behavior today and who I am as a person, as a leader, and so on and so forth, through the different personas I play. And for me, it kind of influenced a little bit the way I lead, the way I deal with certain things. And that was part of my growth. Learning about myself was the other element of how I think I grew. I had to overcome, my personal inhibitions. I had to overcome my own imposter syndromes that I had, and I had to learn to take that leap of vulnerability, which is different when you're having a conversation, you're vulnerable, and you're writing a book and you're trying to be vulnerable. They're two different dimensions altogether. And I think all of that allowed me to get more liberated with regards to who I am, who I am today, and who I can potentially be tomorrow.
So in that process,
Seeing right now today is the 21st cover. Because the first 20 covers, I told my designer, not quite there. And it was one of those morning, it was just relaxing. Voila, the elements all came together. So what you see in infinity is really an infinite journey of growth that awakes you, right? Characterized by the vivacious infinity, so-called Simba, and colorful water of life, right? So when you, being unique individual, distinguished by the thumbprint backdrop, what you see, tap into your inner genie, which is your inner genius, that means your innate talent, a permanent state of mind where nothing is impossible, to become the better you, in a world of disruption and exponential change. So growth is never linear, and from time to time it flourishes against the natural expectant grain. That's why the reverse R, that's his genius, right? Marked by the reverse R. So embrace and live it. Can you imagine the complexity of even doing the cover?
So when I submitted the proposal for the book to Chinka, I did the reverse R at that point in time, and I didn't know how to do a reverse R on the computer. I was like trying all kinds of ways, and I think Deshaun eventually kind of, okay, here you go, and he did it like in 2 seconds. He got the reverse R, and then I submitted it to Chinka, and we kind of forgot about that until we were doing the cover, and then we wanted the cover to reflect a story in itself, and that was the intent.
okay.
Harish, you couldn't do the reverse R in AutoCAD?
Only another IT guy will ask you that question.
Okay, one last question. Okay. Yeah.